We're going to take a look at Ethereum. It's behaving just like Bitcoin. At the end of this portion of the live stream or this recorded video, I'm going to add something that will help you calibrate your own TA. Yeah, it'll be a calibration for your own TA, but you have to stick around to the end to see it because I won't tag it. So here we go. Let's go get some Ethereum price. Oh, I put myself on the top right. I don't like being over here. I keep pointing the wrong direction. There we go. Okay. A while back, I drew this triangle, obviously on a larger time frame. Yeah. So, actually, let's just get rid of all this. I can just redo it. And what's this price label? Way down there. Oh, those are bottom targets. All right. So before Ethereum price went in this triangle, I had the thought that before I realized, hey, this is like capitulation type of fall. So I drew this black triangle saying, hey, if it drops down here and touches the origin line, not knowing at that time FTX and all that stuff was going to happen, right? Which is why some of my analyses were off last week because it was news-driven stuff. You can't analyze news-driven stuff on the small time frames. On large time frames, you can, right? Just like me saying Solana has to hit $12 to $22 back in 2021. It might have been January, February 2022. I don't know. Anyway, I drew this triangle over here, anticipating before I knew the FTX stuff was going to happen. If it hit here, it could easily get trapped inside. This blue line is an origin line. This green area, which I'll put price tags on this soon. So if you want to do, if you're going to be wise, and as an Ethereum fan, if you're trading it or dealing with it, you copy my lines, right? That would be a smart thing to do. I'm going to put the price labels on it so you can get it exact here in just a second. It's kind of a busy chart, so I want to clean it up as much as possible. Oh, this triangle got hit too. But my 1720 target never got hit. Anyway, so I thought that price could bounce here on a higher low basis back, a higher low to this, and then possibly continue going up, potentially going up. Now, price has flown through it. It is possible. While it is possible, this triangle's filled out, and that's when it falls back down and makes new lows. I don't think that's the most likely thing. So this triangle is here from last time before the news-driven events happened, okay? All right, or news-driven price action happened. Now I'm gonna go on the 15-minute chart. What did we just talk about on Bitcoin? Whenever you see 3 waves down on the price of anything, 1, 2, 3. Hallmark W, or what people call inverse head and shoulders. It just means that's your reversal for that time frame because you get it. Anyway, I've said that a lot. It just means you made a higher low next, right? But anyway, whenever you see the shape, what was the first, or was it the first or the second rule? What were the first 2 rules? Was one of them look back to the second and third local high, and that's where price will go directly to? Whether it's going to break up or break down, it still goes there almost every time. So bottom, look back 1. I'm not counting that. That's not a local high. Local high number 1, local high number 2. Local high number 3. So since these are so close, I would count them as 1. And I would do that by putting a box there just like I did on Bitcoin. It's the same thing. From that to there, boom. That's where it's very likely going to go if it can get above the second local high. Which I'm going to mix these 2 together to just do 1 box. All right, like down to the candle body. Yep, there you go. All right, and you can see that other people notice the same thing. It's just highs and lows, folks. Look, when folks trading this, which is actually mostly algorithms, but they're doing the same thing, and maybe you should too. They know that that is the key, or the first key area on this bottom formation. Let's go to the 1 minute chart. Watch. What did they do first? They came up to test it. So when bots are doing that, there are a lot, it's not just hitting price to hit price. But I'm just trying to show you that that rule works, what I just covered on Bitcoin. Like you can see it extremely clearly here. But when this type of stuff happens, yes, it is a test of a level, but what does that really mean? Well, a lot of times, since over 90% of all crypto trading volume is bots, it's non-human, not transaction in terms of using Bitcoin and Ethereum, but the trading. Over 90% and or more is non-human. But humans and bots alike, or particularly the bots, when they come up here, they're testing it, sure, to see how much sellers step in. But also, you have like spoof orders. So you might have like a wall here, right? Or a wall here. But what happens to those walls as price gets closer? They disappear. So I feel that, these tests from a bot perspective is more of a liquidity test, like checking your tire pressure. And that's why they call it, that might be why they call it a test. I don't know. It tested the line. But so that was like the test. Okay, did any spoof orders, like how did the sellers react, or did orders up here disappear? Because if they disappear, well, fuck, I know I can let this cool down, form another higher low or whatever, get it ready. Now that I'm ready to go, I want to put some futures buys down, future longs down here. Since I have $100 million of crypto, I know I can sell it on spot to bring it down 1.5%, right, on Ethereum. You don't even need $100 million of Ethereum to bring it down 1.5%. You sell it on spot down to your futures longs, and then all that shit you just sold, you use that to buy it back in more. Boom. And it doesn't matter if you lose money on that purchase from selling and buying, you're making a lot of money from this, right? And you have to do it with a lot of, so to get through here, it got through with a lot of momentum after having tested how did any spoof orders disappear, how do sellers react? Will sellers beat me down, or will they allow us to have a higher low? They did. So after all this, kind of still feeling the waters, okay, kablam. It had to get through with force. Had this test on the bots given different data, I don't think they would have had to hit it with that hard of a market buy. Does that make sense? But I think it was calculated how much they had to hit with market buy. I think that's what it was or at least to have data, to get more data points. But you could tell that rule works outside of everything I just said. Okay. All right. Now back to Ethereum price. It's really important to understand these formations. I guess I will repent a little bit about me hating on pattern traders. I just don't like the names and why and how people don't. I just feel that the way it's explained and seen, you don't actually understand what is happening, right? Kind of like me and my origin lines. So that's a great defense. I don't need to know I don't need to know why it's happening, right? I just need to know that it does, and I have a probability or something. But anyway, so I've hated on pattern traders a lot, and I'm talking about a pattern a lot here. It is really important because it's extraordinarily common. But I'm showing you the anatomy of it, which is I'm going into the whys about it. Okay, Ethereum price related to Bitcoin going up and testing 19K. Let's measure. That's 9%. How high would, wrong chart. Now we're gonna measure up on Bitcoin. Well, if Bitcoin comes up here, Ethereum's going to go. Actually, it depends. So here's the part that I was saving for last, your calibration. So we know that Bitcoin on the midterm timeframes, in 2 of 3 of the situations that will happen, right? We know it's going to be one of those 3 with an extremely high likelihood. So we'll just call it we know. We don't actually know, but we know, right? We know enough. Let's just call it we know. So we know that 2 of the 3 situations on Bitcoin will have it come up here on the midterm and macro time, or the midterm timeframes. So the micro timeframes are like, let's call it 66% likely to go here. How high will Ethereum go as these targets are hit? That's the last thing I wanted to show you on Ethereum, how to calibrate. So this is the key line for its 6.5%. If at that moment, the Ethereum versus Bitcoin chart is going up, then Ethereum at that moment is going to go a higher percentage up, right? So we have a very important line on Ethereum at 14.15. So let's go see if Ethereum's going up versus Bitcoin. It's kind of it's making up its mind. It doesn't know. So it actually might depend. So if there is a no trend like there is now, well, yeah, there's a no trend right now. You have higher lows but a lower high. You might just have to look at that candle. If that's a green candle at that moment, then Ethereum, will on that way up, it's going to have a higher percentage, right? So the 2 percentages that Bitcoin has for targets is from current price. So you'd have to remeasure, from the moment you're doing this, right? But this is where price is it has a 66% chance of going or higher, right? So this or higher, 66% chance as of now. 6.5%, 10.2%. So in the moment that you start thinking about this, how high, where is it? If I want to short Ethereum or whatever, because I know it's, out of the 3 midterm scenarios, 2 of the 3 will break down from here, right? So once you get here, the 2 out of 3s actually flip. 2 out of 3 will fall down from here, or will stay below, right? Only 1 of the 3 will go higher. But at this moment, you're dealing with the other 2, the middle one and the bullish one. So in the moment, you have 6.5 to 10, was it? From current price. Yep, 10.25. On Ethereum, does this line up here where I had my triangle make sense? So right now, Ethereum versus Bitcoin is flat. So if that were to stay the same, this line would be, it would have to be either 6.5% above current price or 10.25. So what this means is, as at the moment, so it's neither, but this is probably where it's going. It could go above it and use it as support, but just hear me out. And this is the exact level. And I told you I'd give you the levels, but I didn't. Here are the levels. So here's that. Oh, what am I doing? Here's the box. Here's the bottom of the box. Ooh, there's a wick there. I need to make this a little higher. I need to go like that. No, actually, I won't do that. So 14.15 is about 9%. So what this means is, if at the moment Bitcoin's charging up towards that lower yellow line, if Ethereum price is, or Ethereum versus Bitcoin chart is green on that 1 hour candle or 15-minute candle, then Ethereum will be here as Bitcoin hits the lower of the 2. That makes sense, right? That's calibration for you. If Ethereum happens to be going down versus Bitcoin, you know that at the moment, so if it's a red 15-minute candle Ethereum versus BTC, as BTC's approaching its yellow line, you know that Ethereum will not get here as Bitcoin hits the first one. Therefore, if that first line on Bitcoin gets it right, and you're trying to take shorts on Ethereum, it ain't gonna make it. If it's going down versus Bitcoin on the Ethereum versus Bitcoin chart, Bitcoin would have to hit the top line, and that is when Ethereum would nail this on the head simultaneously, right? Inverse can also be true. If you're looking at price going, a Bitcoin charging up towards that line, which is your initiator, right? And it's a green candle on Ethereum versus Bitcoin. Let's call it 15-minute or 15 minute to 1 hour. It's somewhere, just pick one of those time frames, 15 minute, 30 minute, or 1 hour, pick one. Use that time frame. If it's green in that moment, as Bitcoin's making its charge up, then Ethereum's going to be here as Bitcoin hits the first line, not the second. And if Bitcoin goes to the second line, then you're not gonna be able to short there successfully. You would have to look left. Look for structure looking left. If at that time it's green and Bitcoin hits the top one, then Ethereum is going somewhere in this box. It will, under those conditions. Bitcoin is charging up towards the L lines. Ethereum versus Bitcoin is a green candle on the 15, 30, or 1 hour chart. And Bitcoin goes to the top yellow line. Ethereum will go here. If all those are true, you already know it will go there, because that is how it works. But you don't know if it'll be a green candle. That's why you got to go look to calibrate. Does that make sense? So in the event, if you're watching this Ethereum one, what I'm about to say, you will have had to have watched my Bitcoin portion, and it will be in the playlist of the most important videos I've ever made too, if you want to just go look at that. Once I get it uploaded for people on the stream. I forget what I was getting ready to say. And I'm stone sober, but decaffeinated. Son of a bitch. What the hell? Let me look at the Bitcoin chart. Maybe it'll come to me. Was I talking about you're wanting to short? Oh, yeah. Okay. I do know. It came to me. So, because we know 2 of the 3 fractals on Bitcoin they have more downside, or they'll go enough below the origin line on Bitcoin to be a tradable move, more than more than a 1.5% to 3%, right? Very tradable. Then that in that area, it wouldn't be, so not financial advice, it wouldn't be a bad time to begin being interested in trading short. Maybe not looking for the big kahuna. Actually, I would strongly suggest not looking at that. Why? Because did you see how long all those fractals were on my Bitcoin portion? They were all about 20 to 35 days. I think I forgot to tell you that. From a timing perspective, Bitcoin's not going to drop significantly. It's not going to hit the next origin line down. It's not going to make new lows for about 30 days. It's not going to happen. Because of this wick. So if you begin being interested in shorts around that area for obvious reasons, then just realize in that play, you're not looking for the big kahuna, because it's not going to happen. You would want to take profits as Bitcoin goes below the origin line, and that's where you start taking your profits, because it's going to come back up and at least retest it from the bottom at bare minimum. It's not going to make new lows. Perhaps until December. Likely until December, at least late November. And that should keep you safe. So, and again, I think on the stream so far, I've talked about how to format your brain to the time axis, and that's another one. How to expect how long to be in that trade, where to take where to take profits, because the time axis, we're looking at 30 days for new lows. So therefore, you're not looking for the big next leg down. Make sense? All right. Long-winded, but this is a very important moment where micro time frames are going to create the midterm time frame big pivots. So I think I I could have been more efficient with this, but I got all the details to you that I wanted, and we're sporting an Ethereum shirt, so let's go get the next one.